Yet again, the Rising of the Shield Hero anime series gave me something I didn't even know I wanted. A giant fat chocobo princess fighting against an armored T-Rex. Greetings, my friends, it's time to dive into another episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero, a very action-packed episode where Naofumi and his crew battle against an ancient demonic dinosaur. It's actually, I think, one of the best-looking episodes of the series. It's incredibly thrilling watching this massive T-Rex monster plow through a European-looking city and through the forest. It's equal parts Jurassic Park and Attack on Titan, and it just so happens that the episode features probably some of the best animation from the entire series. Despite the fact that the giant T-Rex monster is CG and sticks out like a sore thumb, it actually looks pretty good. It's not as distracting as, say, the CGI bears from Golden Kamuy, or the very shitty-looking dragon from the very first Fate Stay Night anime series. It looks just good enough, and while Naofumi and his crew battling against this monster is really thrilling, especially the way that he utilizes his shields to build up momentum for Philo, the main attraction of this episode is that we're introduced to a new character, the Queen of the Filolials, none other than Fitoria. By the way, go ahead and get used to this in this review. I don't know how to pronounce Filolial. Is it Filolial? Is it Filolial? I don't know, sound off in the comments section below. The point is, this episode introduces another brand new character, the Queen of the Chocobos, the Chicken Queen, if you will, and this is eventually what Philo has the potential to actually transform into, a super-powered chicken. This queen goes by the name of Fitoria, and she's incredibly powerful. In fact, she's thousands of years old. She actually belonged to one of the original 4 heroes, and she's been given a mission to wipe out all evil from the world, to look after the other chocobos, and of course to find a candidate who's going to be the new queen and take over her position. And when she's introduced in the episode, she battles against this giant monster and just frickin' destroys it! Fillets it like a frickin' samurai. She's a really big, fat, poofy chicken, but she can also move really fast and slice and dice it in all sorts of ways. It was really thrilling and a great introduction to her character, and just like Philo, she also has the ability to transform into a cute, lolicon version of herself. The series is absolutely just drenched in lolicon. If you weren't used to it before, you might get over it in this episode. Even though she is kind of like Philo in many senses, in the fact that she transforms into a cute little teensy anime girl, her personality is completely different. She's very serious, no nonsense, and by the end of the episode that's made even more clear, as she quite literally declares war against the 4 heroes. She knows that if they don't come together and put aside their differences to take out the waves of destruction, that eventually something is going to have to be done about this situation, and the heroes could potentially end up just getting in the way. And the big reaction on Naofumi's face at the end of the episode, I think it's pretty sound. I mean, I would be pretty freaked out too if a giant chicken said that it was gonna kill me. So what's the rundown on this episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero? Like I said, I thought this was a really exciting episode. It just immediately opens with this giant dinosaur just destroying things like a monster in a kaiju movie. And Naofumi and his crew realize that this dinosaur is actually attracted to Philo, and that's because Philo has that dark crystal that came from that zombie dragon, which it also seems to have in its very own body. Methinks there's some sort of a connection between all of these monsters and how it's possibly tied to some sort of evil, dark, demonic dragon-like creature, but still it's really cool just to see it plow through the streets of this city and into the forest and fight against them. It's really damn thrilling, and the absolute scale of this battle is unlike anything that we've actually seen from the series thus far. The only thing that I could possibly compare it to was the second wave of destruction when they went up against all of those pirate ghosts in the Soul Eater. Again, it was really thrilling, because all the characters got to do really cool things. Philo in particular is always really fun to watch. Philo could definitely be one of those stupid, run-of-the-mill, stereotypical mascot anime characters. I'm talking about you, Hawk, from the 7 Deadly Sins, but no, she's actually useful. She has the ability to fight back, and she does so very well. But ultimately, it's all about Fitoria making her way into this episode, who just brings the pain. What I really love about her character is that initially she seems like she's actually going to be very helpful to Naofumi and his team, even bringing along her entire army of super cute Filolials. They come in multiple shapes and colors, you can collect them all. And Fitoria uses her magic to transport Naofumi and his team to this, like, ancient Filolial sanctuary, which is really awesome, and it's also an excuse just to see how freaking adorable these things are. Seeing the Filolials in their natural habitat is really funny and adorable, because when they actually arrive there, Naofumi actually ends up making food for his team in Fitoria, and when all of the Filolials see them eating, they are just drooling with hunger, and they look so freaking cute, to the point where Naofumi has no choice but to actually end up feeding all of them. Again, this seemed like a scene where he's sort of extending the olive branch of friendship to Fitoria, but she's, like I said, no nonsense, despite the fact that she comes across as a typical cute anime girl. She also explains that this world is even bigger than we could have possibly fathomed. Apparently the waves of destruction are not just attacking Melromark and its fellow kingdoms, but all of these different countries which exist within this fantasy world. So Naofumi and his team have their work cut out for them. According to Fitoria, they're all actually supposed to represent a specific country and be there to help their respective armies and peoples fight back against the wave of destruction. Basically, they've been fucking up the entire time, and they are going to have to get their shit together if they're going to try and defeat this evil force. There's also a very small scene in the episode with Ren and Itsuki as they're starting to do a little bit of investigating, figuring out really what's wrong with this holy church which is obsessed with the three heroes and shitting on the shield hero, and it looks like they're actually getting some answers. Mine is secretly watching from the shadows, and I'm sure by some form of slut magic she's going to find some way to screw all of this up. It's a minor scene, and I almost forgot about it completely just because how awesome Fitoria is in this episode. Like, I'm telling you, the scene where she appeared from the lake, jumping over Naofumi and his team and beating the crap out of this giant dinosaur monster is really damned awesome. And if you were wondering what actually happened to the character of Keel, Raftalia's friend, well, she was taken in by Van as he went to go save all of the other demi-humans. We don't really get to follow up on too much of that right now, and that can make the story feel a little disjointed, as this whole monster thing and the Queen Filolial thing just sort of came out of nowhere. But I have to say that it's actually pretty freaking interesting, and definitely why I loved this episode so much. So for that, I'm actually going to give this a 5 out of 5. I thought this was one of the more surprising episodes of the series. Despite the fact that it made heavy use of giant CG monsters, it wasn't as distracting as I thought, and dare I say it, it was incredibly thrilling and featured some of the best action that I've seen from the show, and I'm really interested to learn a little bit more about this Fitoria character, if she truly is going to end up being a villain, or eventually will become an ally of Naofumi and his team. Considering how often he manages to sway cute little anime girls, I have a feeling it's probably going to be the latter. But maybe you think differently. Maybe you didn't like this episode, maybe you did. Let's have a discussion about it in the comment section below. Tell me what you thought about the introduction of Fitoria. Did you have any favorite moments from this episode, like the battle against the giant dinosaur monster? And what do you hope to see from the rest of the Rising of the Shield Hero? Give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.